Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're dropping the top and hitting the road with the Mazda MX-5 Miata, the ultimate affordable sports car that's all about pure driving joy, nimble handling, and that wind-in-your-hair freedom. If you're eyeing a used Miata, you're probably pumped about its razor-sharp steering, lightweight chassis, and the kind of fun that makes every corner a thrill. But before you pop the clutch and sign the deal, there are some potential issues you need to watch out for to avoid a repair bill that could put a damper on your roadster dreams. In this video, I'm breaking down everything you need to know about used Mazda MX-5 Miatas. We'll cover the model years that might cost you big, what wears out as the miles pile up, and how to shop smart to score a convertible that's built to last. Stick around to the end for my top tips on picking the perfect Miata. New here? Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss more car buying tips. And if this video saves you from a lemon, give it a thumbs up. It really helps us out. If you would like to see a particular vehicle model review, you can leave your request as a comment below this video. Alright, let's roll. So, what's the deal with the Mazda MX-5 Miata? It's a legendary two-seat roadster that delivers a grin-inducing, back-to-basics driving experience with all the features you'd want. Think a peppy engine, a slick-shifting manual, and a convertible top that begs for sunny days. Whether you're carving up canyon roads, cruising the coast, or just enjoying a weekend spin, the Miata has your back with its iconic design and Mazda's precision engineering. But here's the catch. Like any used sports car, the Miata has its quirks. Some model years are riskier than others, and high mileage can bring costly repairs, especially with those soft tops and engines. Let's break it down. Here's what we're covering today. The model years that might hit your wallet hard. What to expect as the odometer climbs. Why the Miata is still a fantastic choice, plus tips to avoid the trouble spots. No fluff, just straight-up advice to help you buy with confidence. Let's start with the model years. Not every Miata year is a joyride, some have more issues than others. Here's the rundown on the ones to watch out for based on owner reports and reliability data. The 1990 to 1997 Mazda MX-5 Miata, also known as the NA first generation, has a known issue with crankshaft nose failure in the 1.6L engine, especially in early models. Likelihood is 15 to 20% and repair costs range from $1,000 to $2,500. This can cause catastrophic engine damage, so check if the crank has been upgraded or if the engine was swapped. Another common issue for the same generation is soft top tiers and leaks. The likelihood is 10 to 15%, with repair costs between $500 to $1,200. Vinyl tops can crack or leak, especially with age. Inspect the top for tears, brittle zippers, or water stains in the interior. Moving on to the 1999 to 2005 Mazda MX-5 Miata, also known as the NB, second generation, one issue is clutch slave cylinder failure. The likelihood is 10 to 15%, and repair costs range from $200 to $500. The clutch slave cylinder can leak, causing a spongy pedal or shifting issues. Test the clutch for firm engagement and check for fluid leaks. Another issue for the NB generation is coil pack failures. The likelihood is 5 to 10%, with repair costs between $300 to $600. Faulty coil packs can cause misfires or rough idling. Check for engine stuttering and review service records for ignition repairs. For the 2006 to 2015 Mazda MX-5 Miata, also known as the NC third-generation manual transmission synchro wear is a concern. The likelihood is 10 to 15%, and repair costs range from $1,500 to $2,500. The 6-speed manual can have worn synchros, causing grinding during shifts, especially from second to third. Test all gears for smooth operation. Another issue for the NC generation is convertible top drain clogs. The likelihood is 5 to 10%, with repair costs between $100 to $300. Clogged drains can cause water pooling or interior leaks. Check for damp carpets or musty smells. Lastly, the 2016 present Mazda MX-5 Miata, also known as the ND fourth generation, has infotainment system glitches. The likelihood is 5 to 10%, and repair costs range from $200 to $500. The MZD Connect system can freeze or lose connectivity, affecting Apple CarPlay or the backup camera. Test all tech features during inspection. Another issue for the ND generation is rear differential noise. The likelihood is 5% with repair costs between $1,000 to $2,000. Some models can develop differential whine, especially with spirited driving. Listen during a test drive at varying speeds. Model years set the stage, but mileage is where the rubber meets the road. Here's what might pop up as the Miata racks up the miles. For Miatas with 0 to 50,000 miles, brake wear is a common issue. The likelihood is 10 to 15%, with repair costs between $300 to $600. Enthusiastic driving eats brake pads and rotors, especially on club or track-driven models. Check for squealing or vibrations when braking. Another issue in the same mileage range is minor electrical issues. The likelihood is 5%, and repair costs range from $100 to $300. Sensors or infotainment glitches can trigger warnings, particularly in newer models. Test all systems during inspection. For Miatas with 50,000 to 100,000 miles, suspension wear becomes more likely. The likelihood is 10%, with repair costs between $500 to $1,000. Worn shocks or bushings can cause a harsh ride or loose handling, especially with aggressive cornering. Drive over bumps to check for clunks. Another issue in this mileage range is clutch wear for manual transmission models. The likelihood is 10 to 15%, and repair costs range from $800 to $1,500. Manual models may need clutch replacement if driven hard. Test for slipping or a high engagement point. For Miatas with 100,000 to 150,000 miles, timing belt and water pump issues are common in NA and NB models. The likelihood is 10 to 15%, with repair costs between $500 to $1,200. Older Miatas require timing belt and water pump replacement every 60,000 to 90,000 miles. Check service records for recent service to avoid engine damage. Alright, let's dive into the potential issues you might face as your Miata clocks more miles. For those with 100,000 to 150,000 miles, rust becomes a concern, especially for the NA and NB models. There's a 5 to 10% likelihood of rust forming on the sills, wheel wells, or chassis, particularly if you live in a wet climate. Repair costs can range from $500 to $2,000. It's crucial to inspect the undercarriage and body panels regularly. Now, for Miatas with over 150,000 miles, you're looking at a 10 to 15% chance of needing major repairs. This could include engine rebuilds, transmission repairs, or even new soft tops, especially if previous maintenance was neglected. These repairs can cost anywhere from $1,500 to $4,000 or more. But hey, with proper care, many Miatas can last well beyond 250,000 miles. Here's the good news, the Mazda MX-5 Miata is a reliability champ for a sports car. RepairPal gives it a 4 out of 5, ranking it 8th out of 21 sports cars. Annual repair costs average around $429, which is low for a performance car. With proper maintenance, a Miata can easily hit 250,000 miles, especially the 2006 to 2023 models with the 2-liter engine. The 2016 and 2019 models are among the most dependable, with strong owner satisfaction and fewer reported issues. Key takeaways: maintenance is critical. Regular oil changes, timing belt replacements for NA and NB models, and soft top care are essential, especially for spirited driving. Model year matters. Stick to 2006 or newer for better reliability and modern features, and don't forget to check for recalls. The Miata has had recalls for issues like airbags, soft tops, and fuel pumps. Verify fixes with the VIN. Ready to snag a used Mazda MX-5 Miata? Here's your playbook for success. First, avoid the 1990 to 1991 models without the crank fix. Short-nose crankshaft issues can be a deal breaker. Second, demand maintenance records. No service history? Keep walking. Third, get a pre-purchase inspection. Have a mechanic check the engine, transmission, soft top, and undercarriage, especially if the car has over 100,000 miles. Fourth, check for recalls. Use the VIN to confirm fixes for airbags, soft tops, and fuel pumps. And finally, test everything: transmission, brakes, tech, and convertible top. Make sure it's all smooth. Follow these tips, and you'll drive off in a Miata that's ready for years of top-down thrills. Thanks for watching. If this helped, smash that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment. Share your Miata stories or questions below. Catch you in the next one. Thanks for tuning in. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment with your thoughts or questions. And don't forget to check out our other videos for more great content. See you next time.